How's it going, everyone? My name is Nate and this is
Amanda.
So we are finally getting my 350Z to start after a year and a half of us taking the DE motor out and putting the VHR motor in. I feel really nervous because it's been a year and a half. Like, this car, guys, this car is my first ever car, right? The first ever car I ever worked on, like, heavily. First ever car I worked on was a 240, but aside from that, this car is literally my whole entire, like, it's like what brought me in to this whole entire car scene and everything. And the past year and a half, it's feel like something's been missing. It sounds so weird and like kind of corny to say, but if you ever taken a car apart and it's been down for a year, you probably know or understand how I feel. So enough of me blabbing around and talking about my feelings. Let's get right into this video. We have a VHR swap wiring harness from Hexa Garage. So this harness is universal, basically a standalone engine harness. So for example, if the engine was outside the car on the engine stand, I will be able to start the engine with this harness. I just need 3 wires connected, which would be the power, ignition, and starter. So here, George from Hexa Garage actually wired up my 370Z cluster to this entire harness, and this is still retaining my 370Z ECU, of course, but this gets rid of my IPDM, my fuse boxes, and the BCM, because we don't need those. It was kind of holding me back. Well, it was holding me back for a good while, so we decided to get rid of it and just go with the standalone harness, and we're just gonna wire up the headlights, taillights, turn signals, and everything else that I need separate from it on a control module. Again, this harness is made by George from Hexa Garage. I will leave his inquiry information in the description, or it'll be somewhere on the video. That's the guy to go to if you want any sort of these swaps in your S chassis, VQ. They also do a lot of fabrication at their shop, so they fabricate all their engine mounts on their website, the drive shafts, fuel system. They do all that at their shop, so I'm sure if you need anything kind of specific wise, hit up George from Hexa Garage and I'm sure he'll get right back to you. So we're gonna get started on installing this harness right away. I'm not gonna show step by step, but I am gonna show like the main connection points that some people may get mixed up on. But we cannot drive the car yet if the engine were to start in this video, because I still need valve covers. So the story behind that is the guy who I bought the motor from, he snapped off the breather tube on the valve cover, and I didn't notice till 6 months after I purchased it. But I mean, it's okay, because then now that turns into a valve cover install video for you guys. So I mean, in a way it kind of works. Not really, it sucks, but it's okay. So this is a harness all laid out. It may look like a big mess and some people may turn away, but I laid it out very accurately, and I'm gonna go over it just in case anyone else is doing this themselves. So first up, we have our cluster connection. It's gonna be these 2 plugs right here. Our OBD2 port is also gonna be on our driver's side. This is for our gas pedal. Going along the dash, we have the ECU connections. Here go 2 relays provided by Hexa. Now it goes off into the VVEL module. So this black piece right here is your transmission harness. It's gonna be all these gray colored wires right here. Next black piece is gonna be behind your motor, and it's gonna come along to the driver's side valve cover. These go into your spark plugs. We also have a ground right here. Don't forget to put your grounds. Coming back to the first black connector, it's your passenger side valve cover. Right here where you see the tag is where it goes across the motor, and it goes down into the driver's side engine mount, and it plugs up right here into the starter. So like I said, I'm not going to go step by step. I'm only going to show key points of the harness, but I'm basically just going to start from the driver's side and move my way into the firewall area, and then the cluster will be the last one. Pichu, you really that desperate for some noodles?
Pichu.
Look, he's not giving up. He really wants your noodles. So I threw in the harness last night. This is as far as I got. What helped me a lot to put it in was I was basically just using these brackets to pinpoint where each part goes. So we got 3 brackets in the front, 1, 2, and 3. Bracket is gonna be down there. Your next bracket is going to be down there on the engine mount. So all your spark plugs are going to be gray colored. This is going to be your MAF sensor. MAF sensor on this side is right on the top, coming from this bracket sort of. This on the other hand, it goes all the way down into your oil pressure sensor and your power steering sensor. This right here is, I believe, a ground or a positive for your alternator. The only part I really got confused on was fitting this black piece in the back. So basically the more straighter black piece goes into this hole right here. I still need to bolt it up. There's actually another one on the back of the motor that I still have to go down under the car to bolt it up in. So I still need to plug in the transmission harness, which I'm not really looking forward to because honestly I don't really like going under the car, but it is what it is. So the car is in the air now. I went under and I finished up the transmission harness. Although I'm not gonna lie, I might be missing a few plugs down there just because this is originally a rev match harness and my transmission isn't a rev match. So right now we have the harness going through the firewall. So now under the dashboard we have to plug in the ECU, the VVL module, because I relocated that from the engine bay to the inside. It's just easier. We also have to wire up our switch panel. So this switch panel looks a little corny, but it's what we have to do to get this car rolling. So we're gonna have 4 switches on here, which is gonna serve as our key. This is gonna power our on mode, accessory 1. This is gonna prime our fuel pump. This is gonna turn on all the other accessories, and this is gonna start our motor. So here I pulled the harness through the firewall. I plugged up our ECU, but we still need to plug in our VVL module, which I have to grab from the back shed. So let's go take a little trip to the storage yard. So here's our grand storage yard. So we still keep all our OEM parts. This is the Super exhaust, F80 exhaust that we chopped in the previous video. Some 18-inch work of motions, spares for the E46. Now this exhaust is a Motordyne exhaust ready for the 350Z. Some OEM downpipes, OEM charge pipes from the Supra. We keep all of our stuff, like. So here is the VHR harness, the spare one that I have. This is supposed to be for my 240, but we decided on going HR. We also need this 350Z gas pedal. And here's our Vivo module. Just gonna steal that. So this harness is actually for sale, if anyone's interested. Yeah, so like I said, that harness is for sale. I could get you in touch with George from Hexa Garage if anyone's seriously interested in getting that made for your vehicle. Alright, so I just finished up the wiring right now. But if all goes good, I'm going to show step by step exactly how I wired this control panel right here. Just hooked it up to the battery. And good news, we have power. So that is good news. So this means that this whole entire panel is on. Did have to wire up my fuel pump directly to this relay. Again, I will show exactly step by step what I did, how to do it yourself. But before we start it, I'm gonna clean everything up inside this car because it's been a mess, and it's been a mess for a while, huh?
Yeah, you can't put your feet down.
So we just did a little cleanup in the inside and around the engine bay, and we're gonna be ready to start it now. I don't want to get my hopes up in case it doesn't start. If it doesn't start, then that's user error. It is not nothing to do with Hexa Garage's work. The battery's plugged in now. We're gonna hop in. We're gonna see if it starts.
I hear it. I hear it priming. I mean, it's on.
it's on. Okay, so what ended up happening was my starter was never connected. Guys, this entire time I've been trying to crank my motor. It's never been connected. So the entire time, the missing piece was this connector right here, going right to my starter. And I only would have found out about that connector if it wasn't from George from Hexa Garage. I got on the phone with him. I was explaining what was happening. Motor wasn't cranking. Sent him tons of videos. I was bugging him all day. But the guy is so helpful. Helped me out. We led to the conclusion that it was just a simple connector that was never plugged in the entire time. Oh. Hey.
Too excited.
Yeah. Huh?
What? What fell?
Yeah, what fell?
It was just a...
Okay. Okay.
It was just a ratchet.
Alright.
So now why doesn't it start up?
I don't know.
At least you got something.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
There's a whole race car in here.
Oh, it killed everything.
What do you mean?
It killed the battery.
What?
It's dead.
What?
5 volts.
Why?
I don't even know. So I have no idea why it killed the battery. We just got it recharged yesterday at AutoZone. Ground? Am I grounding out? But I think that's enough for this video, just cause I don't really want to start the car with the valve cover like broken like that. So I'm gonna consider that the 350Z starts. Yay. So next on the list is gonna be valve covers for the car, and then bushings and exhaust, fans, 4 things. So we still need a lot of work to the car, but this is a big step in the right direction. Also, I'm still gonna show how I wired everything, just in a different video, just to make it all organized if someone's trying to find the information how to do it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys in the next one.